guys, today we're going to be talking about fixing black trim on your car. I'm going to be trying out a product called DIY Detail Restore and Protect. This is a new product. I have to thank Ivan LaCroix for sending me a bottle of it to test out. I will be giving an honest review of this, honest assessment of the application process and how it works. But this was sent to me for review. Now, if you look at my Mini, you can actually see I already applied it on this piece of trim here. So basically from the brake right there to the brake right there, this semicircle has it applied. So I want to give you kind of a before and after. If you look at this, you can see what the Mini community calls tiger striping. So there's all of these stripes on this piece. And down the side, there's gray. And then up here, you can see that it's black and it's not nearly as pronounced. There are still some stripes that come through. I think it's part of the mold process. But if you look at it as a normal, like 90-degree on-center view of this trim, you can't really see it. And on this one, you definitely 100% can, looking at it from the same view. So I'm going to show you how this works. We're going to apply it, and I'll give you an idea of, kind of my initial thoughts, which are, it works very well. You can see this one that I already did about a week ago, just because I wanted to test the product out and see how it worked. And, it looks good. There are certainly other products out there that do this. One of the popular ones is a product called Solution Finish, which I have used in the past. It does work well. There's another product called McGuire's Back in Black that I've had good luck with in the past. I will say that that doesn't hold up very well. It doesn't last very long, especially on these Minis for whatever reason. I don't know why, but these they have this tiger striping issue. It's kind of always been a thing. And I think that it has something to do with the molding or creation process when they're making these. So I'm gonna put my phone here on the gimbal and then we'll get this applied. So in order to do this, we're gonna need a couple things. 1, we need some all-purpose cleaner. 2, we need a panel prep spray. 3, we need some rags. And 4, we need the Restore and Protect. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're going to clean this oxidation using an all-purpose cleaner. The recommendation is to use DIY Detail all-purpose cleaner, of course, because this is a DIY Detail product. I happen to be out of that, so I'm going to be using Green Star, which is diluted 10-to-1 in this bottle. And I sprayed some here on a rag. We're going to take this and we're going to make sure to get into all of these cracks and crevices. We're just gonna do as good of a job as we can cleaning this panel. This is gonna help to remove any oils or residue that might be behind from previous products, as well as just getting the dirt off. So we can see here, we've gone over it, and our rag has some black on it, has some more on the back. Maybe we wanna hit it a second time if it's really dirty. Can't hurt. Let's do it. And then there we go. Back of rag. Okay. So now that that's done, I'll take another rag here and just make sure it's nice and dry. You can see that it was already drying without me wiping it. Next, we want to take a panel prep spray, and we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna spray a rag. This is DIY Detail Panel Prep. I'm sure that you could use other brands as well. There we are. Again, we're getting some black off of that. Hit it with the back side of the towel, let it dry up nice. There we are again. Now, on the videos, Ivan mentions to apply this with a section of rag. I'm going to use a section of rag, but they do give you this little applicator as well. So maybe the applicator might be slightly better, but on his video, he chose to use a rag, so that's what I'm gonna do. You want to shake this first, and you want to wear gloves. You know why? Because this is a dye. It's actually black, and it will turn your fingers black. So wear gloves. We're going to take this and we're going to blot some out on this towel. And as you can see, it is black. And we are going to apply this to the plastic. Now, it's okay if you get it on the paint. You will be able to wipe it off. Obviously, you don't want to try to get it on the paint, but in a case like this where I've got this beveled edge, I would rather get it on the edge of my plastic and a little on the paint than miss the edge of my plastic and not get it on the paint. Seeing a little haziness here, I'm just going to put a little bit more on my rag, and I'm going to hit it a second time. Just to make sure that it's nice and consistent. And this is where an applicator would probably come in handy. So if you have like a microfiber applicator for doing a ceramic coating or something along those lines, that might be a little bit better than using a piece of rag. I'm certain that Ivan says to use a piece of rag because he knows it's going to be destroyed, and those applicators can be expensive. But it's going to let you use a lot less product as well if you're using an applicator for it, because it's not going to absorb as much. So what we're going to do now is we're going to let this dry for 2 minutes. All right, so it's been 2 minutes. So I'm going to take a clean side of the towel. I'm going to start with the paint and get the black off the edge. You can see that's the black that was on the paint and maybe a little bit on the car itself. And then I'm going to take another one of these towels. This is a great use of something like a ripping rag or a roll of rags. It's one of those cheaper rag options from either the rag company or Auto Fiber. I'll throw a link in the description to what I'm talking about. But this is an Auto Fiber roll of rags that I have sitting here. And as you can see, that's what I removed. It was just to buff it off and make it nice and smooth. Now, something that I did notice here, this reflector actually has a crack in it right here, and I didn't realize that. But the dye seeped into the crack in my reflector. So that is something to be aware of. Maybe you have something, a taillight, a reflector, or something like that is cracked in this area. That's an unintended consequence of a product like this that is a dye-based product that is designed to dye plastic, and that's a piece of plastic, right? I was able to wipe it off of the shiny part of it, no problem whatsoever, but it did seep into the crack that's there. So that's just something that I'm gonna need to replace. Now, let's take a look at how we did. As you can see, my gloves are black, so I would recommend that you wear gloves. They're not that bad. I had a little bit of practice putting this on before I did it on video. Check out the difference. And if you don't remember what it looked like, check out this transition right here between that and that. I did my best to stay off of that bottom piece. You could see there's like a little bulge right there in the middle where I just barely got into that bottom piece of trim. But look at the oxidation and the white on this one compared to the black finish on that one. So pretty night and day difference. So the dye is what makes this so effective, in my opinion. It is actually changing the color from gray to black. It's providing some of that color back to the oxidized plastic. Ivan in one of his videos actually showed going over a piece of plastic with their gold standard polish and having that remove some of the oxidation. In my case, I did the all-purpose cleaner, which is something that he also showed in one of his videos. That worked very well for me. I think the key to this is you do a good prep, you do a good cleaning, let it dry for the 2 minutes that you're supposed to, and you'll get a good result. Now, time's gonna tell how long this holds up and how well it works, but truly this is so easy to do that I could very easily do this once or twice a year and not have to care. If you have a car that spends a lot of time out in the sun, that has big pieces of plastic, you know, like a Mazda CX-5 or like these minis that I have here, maybe you'll have to do it a little bit more often. My 2024 even has some signs of this when that car only has 2,300 miles on it. So it is something that is a common problem on certain vehicles, and this is a way to resolve that. As I mentioned, some alternative products that I've tried in the past, I have used Solution Finish. In my experience, Solution Finish works almost as well as this, but it doesn't hold up for very long. So I'm interested to see how long this holds up because it does have some protection in it as well. Like I mentioned, some slight risk. It is a dye, so it can turn your hands black. You get it on your shoes, your clothes, whatever, it's going to stain them. Also, you know, something like my reflector that was cracked, that absorbed some of the black as well. And now I've got a black spot that's on my reflector. The reflector needed to be changed anyway, but it is just something to be aware of. So all in all, I think it's another good product from DIY Detail. I think it worked really well. Time will tell how well it holds up. Feel free to reach out to me in the comments down below if you're seeing this video in the future and you're curious how it held up. For most of my videos, if there's a problem with it early on after I'm using a product, I'm gonna come back to the video and I'm gonna put a comment that's gonna be pinned at the top that you'll see, oh hey, this only worked for a month and now it looks like crap, you know, something along those lines. But in general, if something is reasonable and works very well, I would expect something like this to last 90 days to 6 months. I'm not gonna be upset if I have to reapply after a certain length of time. So it did a great job. We're gonna do the rest of the car off camera. And I thank you for watching today. I hope that you'll subscribe and I hope that you're having a great day.